Amibo, my chair. Let me acknowledge fellows of the Pharmacists Society of Nigeria on this platform and fellows of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacy. So those of us who are here, we must acknowledge the grace of God and the opportunity he has granted us. I also want to thank AHPN, especially my very amiable amigo who has invited me to this program, even though it came a bit late, but because of the mutual respect we have for each other and the fact that this is important. Every opportunity I have to talk to or meet with my colleagues, I always want to take them. So that's part of my job. So I want to congratulate you for what you're doing. This is a very good thing. All of us believe that it is standard against drug addiction is perhaps one of the most critical for us. This criticality arises from two major issues. First is that drug abuse and illicit trafficking is imperiling human race. Our people, adults, but especially the youth, are being destroyed daily, and so much misery is caused by the unauthorized access and abuse of drugs. The ravaging madness across the nation today, exemplified by the violent gangs in several parts of Nigeria, marauders, kidnappers, Boko Haram, and all kinds of miscreants. Their activity must be fueled by the unauthorized and perhaps easy access to controlled drugs. And that's why it's a concern to us, concern to all health professionals, and concern to all who are sworn to save lives. It's a shame that rather than save lives, we are seeing lives being wasted. And so it's something we must do something about and fight. The second issue, in my view, is that of introspection, that by training and statute, medicines and drugs are supposed to be under the control of pharmacists. Therefore, any abuse or illicit trafficking must challenge our custodial responsibilities. Are we falling short in our responsibility? How come controlled and so psychoactive and psychotropic drugs get past the gatekeepers? We are gatekeepers. How come these drugs get past us? What do we do to make sure it stops evading us and that we increase our oversight over all routes and the sources through which substance and drugs evade our control? And it bothers me, and I'm sure it must bother all of us here today. So that's the second issue why I think it's important what you're doing today. Today, however, the focus, as the coordinator, the MC of this program just said, is on better knowledge for better care. And I believe that in the pursuit of any mission, knowledge is not only critical, but imperative. Knowledge is not only required to properly understand the dimensions of the problem of the issue, it's not only required to help fashion out new ideas to deal with the evolving and escalating problem, but importantly, to help keep ahead of the antics of the drug abusers and traffickers. Their methods are becoming more sophisticated, and without a proper understanding of these, our methods of trying to arrest or mitigate the problem may be ineffective or suboptimal. Part of the strategy is also how to wean off and rehabilitate the victims of drug abuse. Current knowledge of how to do this remediation and rehabilitation will certainly result in better care. Therefore, hoping that this year's program will equip all stakeholders in this pursuit, especially pharmacists, to get better prepared and equipped to continue to confront this public health pandemic, which though has been temporarily overtaken by the COVID-19 pandemic, still remains a major global health and economic pandemic. As sure as it is certain that we will overcome COVID-19. By God's grace, I'm hopeful that the world will one day overcome this pandemic, perhaps starting with Nigeria. I wish you all a successful seminar. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. that was a wonderful way to start this program. That had been the speech from the #1 pharmacist, the father of pharmacy in Nigeria. Of us who are still young in the profession. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the chairman and the executive of Hospital and Administrative Pharmacists Group for inviting me to this program. I would like to especially recognize Mazi. I've seen so many programs where Mazi has been listed as the special guest of honor, and I was wondering, will Mazi be able to cope with all this? Thank you for doing it, sir. We quite appreciate you, because I know your presence in this program means a lot, to the young pharmacists and not too young ones. Now that you are here, we really appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Let me say a word about the chairman of the hospital group. Since he became chairman and we have been relating, I've seen somebody who took this job seriously. He really took it seriously, and I could feel him. So when he told me that I'm going to be the lead pathologist, I tried to complain, but he told me, don't complain, sir. I said, okay, I will be here. And that is why I'm here. So I thank God that we are all here. Okay, once again, I welcome everybody to this webinar. Talking about this subject is something that actually evokes passion and emotion, because it's a big issue that we have in our hands. And like our president said, it should always at all times attract the attention of pharmacists, because people will certainly ask, are pharmacists not the custodian of drugs? Are they not the gatekeepers? Then why do we have so much problem with drug abuse? And you will recall last year that the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy organized a program on this, which actually caught the national attention. So it's something that we should be doing every time, not even just waiting for the 26th of June, which is the International Day. I know in the world today, particularly in Nigeria, the COVID-19 pandemic seems to have taken all our attention. But as it is right now, the International Day has brought us back to what I will even call a more serious local problem, international global problem, but of a deeper perspective in Nigeria. When the chairman told me about this, I said, look, this is a very big subject. Which part of it do you actually want me to discuss? And he told me to just do a broad line stuff, which will allow others to talk about it and we can ask questions. I've therefore prepared something along this line. I will try as much as possible to move fast so that we don't consume so much time. But we are going to be looking at some core things like the statistics, more importantly, consequences, and what do we do to prevent and control. Next slide, Dr. Pedro. So in terms of introduction, we are talking about an issue that has been with us and keeps on recurring. And what most people will not know, that the first epidemiological survey on drug use or substance abuse was done here in this country as far back as 1943, in which case it's not something that is particularly new. It is just perhaps that we weren't paying attention to it until we got to the level that we are now. Especially about 2018, 2019, when you see that the various government levels got alarmed about what is going on, and we started setting up committees, we started doing public hearing and all sorts of things. And the professional societies like PSN, the academy, and other groups got involved. And it actually now exposed the issues to us. But the problem may really be bigger than we think or we look at it, and that will be the subject of my next slide. But the good thing is that we now have a nationwide involvement where everybody seems to now know that we are dealing with a problem in our hand. You move too fast, Dr. Bello, but that's okay. No. You go back 2 slides. Okay. This is what I call the iceberg illustration of phenomenon of drug abuse. The people that we are seeing now, they are the few ones that are above the surface of the water. They are the ones that we are seeing, with drug abuse, the ones that go to the hospital, the ones that their parents and so were able to bring. But beneath the surface are so many other, that are suffering, that are addicted, but they are not seen. And deep down again are equally a big number of those that are not known. So the little that we are seeing are actually a tip of the iceberg of what this problem may really be. We will find out, and I'm happy that we have a psychiatrist in the house, we find out that even at our primary and secondary school level, this problem is already there. Next slide, please. Now, what is drug abuse? Since I'm talking to a group of professionals, we will not waste our time so much on this, but we know that it is a pattern use of drug, which is different from the normal, which is not in line with what we know as pharmacists, what we are taught in school, what drugs are supposed to be used for, especially when it's used in harmful amount or methods that people use to use that drug. Bello, you have to press the thing down one by one so that the thing drop. Thank you very much. Inappropriate use of substances, including alcohol. Alcohol is the one that everybody uses. Nobody even get ashamed drinking alcohol as early as 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Even on Sundays, when you are going to church, you see the people left and right side of the road that you are moving too fast for me. You are rolling the slide. You are rolling the slide. I will tell you when to move it, please. To go back to slides up. Maybe in future you make the presenter a co-host so that he can handle his own slide by himself. You have to go one slide up, one slide up, one slide up. One up. That is towards the beginning.
Okay. Is that okay?
So this is and because this drug confers some benefits. I mean, there are reasons why people use the drug. It confers some benefits on them, and they want this benefit to continue. But using this drug to get this benefit can be dangerous because it can alter the physiological pattern of behavior of organs and tissues and things like that. And it could lead to what is generally referred to now as drug use disorder. Next slide, please. So we ask ourselves, what are the causes of drug abuse? We are scientists. That apart from the social one that we know, there are some core theories that are associated to the use of drug. But for the purpose of our webinar today, we're not going into details of this, just for us to know that there are personality theory, learning theory, some political factor, and social cultural theory, but we'll not go into that detail. So go to the next slide for us to see the ones that we can relate to easily here now. Yeah, thank you very much. The number one here is experimental curiosity. People see some other people smoking, you see people are drinking and all sorts of things, and you want to try it, particularly for the youthful population. They have seen what others are doing, and they too want to try it. So it's this curiosity that eventually leads them to becoming drug users or drug abusers. Please press them. Just go ahead and press all of them. Bring all of them in. Bring all the points in. Okay, there is good, thank you. There is peer influence. My friends, you say so many your friends, and I will know the kind of person you are. So the people around you, what they are doing and how they are doing it, actually influence people into using drugs. Parental influence. When you have parents that are smokers, parents that are drug abusers, their children are seeing them, even if they are dodging, even if they are doing it supposedly in secret, these children, these young ones can see it, they can know, and they too may want to try it. Social economic condition, which is a big problem in our country today. We have so many people, young ones out of school. We have those who are out of school, who are graduates, 10, 12 years, they have no job. So these are things that actually drive them into trying things that will make them feel good and forget their sorrows, forget whatever problem that they are having. Then there is extra energy requirement. Please go to construction sites now. You will see young people doing hard job, and they want extra energy to be able to do it. And that is why they drink all sorts of drugs. I mean, they take all sorts of drugs, drink all sorts of concoction. You see some sachet alcohol packs all over the place now. There is one they call Erujeje. One day I saw it and I picked it up. It is 45% alcohol. And this is what people take in order to feel strong and to do work. Again, drug availability. We are in a country where drug is available everywhere. When the president talk about pharmacists as gatekeeper, I ask the question, are we truly the gatekeepers? 99% of drugs that are in circulation are not through the hands of the pharmacist. So this is one serious matter that causes drug abuse because they are available. The drug is available. You can just stretch your hand to the right or to the left, you will get the drug. That is why people get abuse. Next slide, please. Yeah, she's talking about causes. No, please, next slide. Thank you. What are the drugs that people commonly abuse? And they include even some legal drugs, either over-the-counter drug, alcohol, cigarette, caffeine, inhalants. Let me say this. We've had benylin with codeine with us for a long time. When we were in school, when we were young, benylin codeine was there, and it was doing great things, conferring benefit to the user. But suddenly, what happened? People start abusing it to the extent now that the drug is banned, from use. Please bring out the points, Dr. Pilo. Yes. Thank you. Some legal prescription drugs like the benzodiazepines, barbiturate. Look, I was in charge of benzodiazepine when I was working for Roche for almost 7 years, and I know these drugs are very good. They do a lot of good things, but they must be handled with care. Otherwise, they do a lot of bad things too. And that is why you see today people are using benzodiazepine like flunitrazepam, Rohypnol, for all sorts of things. Barbiturates, methadone, all of them. Some chemicals have been abused. Illegal drugs. Now, all those things that we are talking about, they are legal drugs before. I mean, drugs that are usually prescribed in the hospitals for people to use. But there are some illegal drugs that are not prescribed, but that people are using. Like talking about, please go down, Dr. Bello, talking about cocaine, heroin, amphetamine, cannabis, marijuana. All these ones are to the law. They are illegal. They are illegal. They are not supposed to be there. They are not supposed to be available. But you and me know that these drugs are available everywhere. They have couriers, they have suppliers, underground suppliers, and these are the drugs that are being abused. Next slide. Okay, just go ahead. Next slide. Next slide. Good. Now, no, please go back to statistics. Now, this is where I want us to look at it very well so that we know the peculiar situation that Nigeria is. The global prevalence of drug use, global prevalence is 5.6%. But in Nigeria, it's 14.7%. 6%. And this is coming from the 2018 survey done by the United Nations Office for Drug and Crime. So global prevalence is 5.6%, but in Nigeria it's 14.4%, which means about 14.3 million Nigerians are drug users. Again, 1 in 7 Nigerians between the age of 15 to 64 years who have used drug before. Have used drug before. 1 in 7. But global statistics is 1 in 20. 1 in 5 of those who have used drug are already addicted. The global statistics is 1 in 11. Then you can see that Nigeria versus the world, this case is even very serious in here. 1 in 4 users are women. That 25% of all those who are using drug now are women. And that's a serious case for us because women are home keeper. They are gatekeepers at home. So it means that we likely going to have more problem with more women having this. Nigeria has 3% of the world population, but we have 66% of cannabis users worldwide. And all this will really strike us very well to know that we have a serious problem in Nigeria. 14% of those who are misusing opioids in the world, they are here in Nigeria. That is the case that we are having. And we rank number 5 in suicide rate in the world. That is, we are looking at a country where you have suicide. Nigeria is number 5 on the map, with an average of 6 suicide per month. We all know it. How many people have been caught on 3rd Mainland Bridge that want to go into the lagoon, and so many other things that are happening. Then again, you see a rise in sudden death. You just hear that somebody died suddenly, and other crimes that are coming up, rape, for what is happening right now. You will wonder what a 30 or 40-year or 50-year-old man is doing with a 6-year-old girl. These are consequences of drugs that are being widely used in this country now. Next slide. Now, what are those signs that you should watch out for when you're talking about somebody is already using drug or is having problem with drug? So many of them, we will not waste time on this, but when you see them having, drugs-related paraphernalia, drug literature and all sorts of things, when you see them identifying with drug culture, look at the way they do their hair, look at the way they dress, and all other things that you see. You see physical deterioration. Please, when you go around now, look into their eyes. You will see that their pupils are dilated. Because one of the effects of drugs like cocaine or heroin is pupillary dilatation. So their pupils are dilated so that they can see even much more clearly. They can see much. When somebody said, he feels so high, he can even touch the sky. You can see that person is not talking, with normal human activity and things like that. Then behavior change. They start hiding themselves, keeping to themselves, changing friends, and all sorts of things. Then you can suspect that this person is probably having drug use. Next slide. Yeah. Now, what are the consequences of drug abuse? We have been talking about it. They are varied and they could be devastating. But thank God that we are having all this discussion right now. International cooperation. But yesterday, I attended a webinar like this from the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And one of the traditional rulers who spoke said, we must cooperate to operate. So we must be cooperating, for us to, because this is not isolated, it's widespread. So that is why you have psychiatrists here. I would have loved it if we have invited students, youth groups, market women, invite more people here so that they can listen to us and see that the problem we are talking about is so widespread. Medical problems, so many. Mental disorder, liver, you can write a whole lot of medical problems associated with the use of drugs. Social problems, we see it here. It is a serious matter. Go to primary school, We're already having the problem there in primary school, in secondary school. And that is what is driving cultism, because people are already having feelings that are beyond their age, beyond their level, beyond everything. Why? Because of enhancement that they get from drugs. Why have we not been able to overcome banditry and all sorts of problems that we have, particularly in the north? The use of drugs. These guys don't care, because their physiological status has been altered with the kind of drug that they use. The cost is enormous. I was just reading this morning the update I have in the statistics from the United States, that for this year alone, the federal budget is about $34.6 billion for drug control. $34.6 billion for drug control. $34.6 billion is more than the $25 billion that is Nigeria budget. So you can see that this is a very serious problem all over the world. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Is it treatable? Of course. Oh, sorry. You have to go back. Go back to treatment. Yeah. Yes, it is treatable, especially if the abuser or the drug user is known and a good attention is sought. I'm sure the psychiatrist will talk more on this. But there is no single particular test available to say that this person is a drug user. There are so many things that they look at. Check the system, what kind of drug is he using. They take family and medical history, and it is treatable and can be successfully managed. Detoxification and rehabilitation and all sorts of things. But relapse is possible. Relapse is possible. What we need to know is that the treatment will be individualized. Once the user or the abuser is taken to a place of care and the history is taken, the drug that is abusing is known, they can attempt some detoxification and they can attempt certain things that will help to prevent withdrawal syndrome and to prevent all other things that spread. Can we go? Yeah, thank you. Prevention and control. To control this, it has to be multidimensional. From the meeting yesterday, there are three major points that have been talked about. One, we have to curtail demand. How do we curtail demand for the drug that people are using? What is it that we have to do to ensure that people don't go looking for the drug anymore and things like that? Then we have to curtail supply. How do we ensure that the drugs are not just available for people to pick? And this is what Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has been saying for years, that medicines are not ordinary article of trade that can be available on the street. I think it's about time for those in authority to listen. And like I've said it, maybe the time has come for us to have somebody in charge of pharmaceutical affairs who talks to the president directly. And that's a special advisor or whatever nomenclature they want to give. But we need somebody who understands this, who knows this, and can actually follow it through for us to get the point. Now, again, to control, we need strong family. We have too many single mother, single father, and all sorts of things. And these are the problems. The foundation is the family. Once the foundation is gone, the whole thing is gone. So we need more stable family. We need mothers and fathers to spend time with their children. No matter what your job is, you need to watch out how your children are growing. The community and religious group, we need more intervention. We need the society to be sensitive to its environment, to know what is going there. The youth group, we need positive peer pressure. We need those that are doing well to become role model. We don't need too much of supermodel that we have nowadays. Supermodel that will be going on the TV naked and all sorts of things. We need role model that people can see and say, yes, I want to become like this person. Government, at the end of the day, is still government. In our environment, government has big influence in what happens or what does not happen. We need government to empower the agencies. NAFDAC, NDLA, and other agencies that are in charge, they need to be appropriately resourced. You can't ask NAFDAC to be controlling this one when it doesn't have the wherewithal to do it. We must have the right people, the right tools, and the right conditions to be able to do it. Drug distribution must be sanitized. I think it is time for people not to see it as a shout from pharmacists anymore. It must be seen as, something that affects the health of the nation, that pharmaceuticals, medicine must be appropriately distributed. It should not just be going from one point to the other. We should ensure that drug distribution is sanitized. The economy must be reflected. It's a pity that COVID-19 is actually going to add more to the woes of our economy, but we need managers who will understand what needs to be done and do it quickly to ensure that we can get back to normal. Because we have so many people, even before COVID-19, that are unemployed. Now, others will go back to that unemployment space. And what it means that something else will occupy their attention. So we need alternative engagement for the youth. For instance, sports, not the political one that we are doing here, real one to local government levels. When we were very young, football team at secondary school level, they are like what you have everywhere here. Okay, so everybody must be involved, professional group, trade group, and this like that. Next slide, please. Now, the core thing now, we are talking about better knowledge for better care. What is knowledge? I just picked this up this morning. Knowledge is familiarity, awareness, or understanding of someone or something, such as facts, information, description, or skill, which is acquired through experience or education by perceiving, discovering, or learning. It can refer to a theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. But let's pick the first one. Now, this thing has been with us. But how are we using this knowledge for a better care? Are we still chaining down people that are running amok because of drug use? In what way are we handling them? What are we doing together to really reduce the demand when we have a knowledge of what we need to do? And I think this is where I want to advise my colleagues in the hospital group that time has come, maybe in each of our hospital, to set up units in collaboration with the management of that hospital where drug use can be discussed and people can be educated, people can be directed more on how to handle drugs. Thank you very much for the opportunity and time to address you.
I want to begin by appreciating our highly revered and cherished President of the PSN, Mazi Sam Ogabunwa, a man of his words. He did assure us that he will be around at the beginning to give some opening remarks. I know that he said the tone for today's vibrant presentations, with the kind of inspiring, charge that he gave us at the beginning of this program. So we're highly indebted to him. I don't know why I said that. We're highly indebted to the President for his presence and for inspiring us thus far. And then, of course, all the panelists that came, you have been wonderful. I'm highly excited that all our plans worked out the way we had planned them. Beginning with Dr. Lolo Joe, did a very good job. As a matter of fact, last year I was privileged to be on a committee, drug abuse committee campaign for us by the Nigerian Academy of Pharmacy, and I saw the way and the passion that Dr. Lolo Joe organized that program. And that program was one of the program that brought the issue of drug abuse in Nigeria to national focus. So we at AHAPN are extremely grateful to you, Dr. Lolo Joe, for honoring our invitation today and for doing justice to the topic that you asked to do. You give a very broad view of drug abuse. And I'm sure everybody that came here today has picked up one or two additional information from your lectures.